Another article from IGN has gone up over the journalist by the name Joshua Yale over the whole controversy of Palworld versus Pokemon. Who came first? Who does it better? Why are the similarities in designs are so much out there? And it's absolutely ridiculous at this point. The game is really hard to point at that they're the same. That they're the same games overall. They're not. They're nowhere near the same game. People are more comparing Palworld to Ark, just like Digimon is compared to Tamagotchi. Well, before we get into the full video, please do me a favor, like, share, subscribe, and do all those fun things. Do it just for the pupper below me, which I have recently lost. This is it's been a sad day around the channel. If you guys have seen any of my community posts, you would see a lot more to go on with that. Palworld versus Pokemon comparison. Just how similar are the designs? From familiar details to larger similarities, we look at how much Pokemon we can see in Palworld, and that's part of it. It's the game you can, because they're these pocket monsters, but they don't call it pocket monsters in Palworld. They call them pals over that. As a lifelong fan of Pokemon, I'm used to seeing other games in the monster tamer genre that is clearly inspired by it, from Temtem to Ni no Kuni, but nothing made me double take quite like Palworld, aka Pokemon with guns. The first trailer of what looked like heavily armed Pokemon trainer using a terrified little pocket monster as a bullet shield was like a meme come to life. The trailer came out, what, 3 years ago at this point? The concept for this game was out years now. No one batted an eye. Then it comes out, goes into early access, and
then everyone loses their minds.
Pick out the old Joker meme here, because that's where we are. They've done a decent job of putting together Palworld versus Pokemon comparisons in a 38-picture slideshow that you can go through and say, oh, Sparkit is much like Pikachu because they both have lightning attacks. Or the little fox is the same thing as Charmander and the Vix. Is it a Vix? I'm trying to remember. I don't know all my Pokemons off the top of my head, but they're saying this is an amalgamation of these two. That's where it is. Oh, we got a penguin that looks like a penguin. Heaven forbid there's a penguin that exists in this game. And this goes on. And now they're making a Snorlax to be the cow. This is ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. You could sit there and do the same thing when it comes to Pokemon. You can, with Digimon, Dragon Quest, Temtem, Tamagotchi, you can do this across many different worlds. Now, I must say, Palworld really does look like it was inspired by Pokemon, but so do a lot of these games. A lot of these style of games are going to look that way, and if you go and look at Digimon as a thing. No, Pokemon did come first from Digimon, so Digimon is not a ripoff, but the latter is not a ripoff of Pokemon. They're unique in their own way with distinct character storylines and plots. It's safer to say Digimon is a ripoff of Tamagotchi, as a popular monster show is indeed based on Tamagotchi. And that's the same thing with what we're seeing in Palworld right now. It's more of a knock at Ark with the building survival system, and then you use all the pals to do your bidding in this game, where in Ark you use dinosaurs to kind of tame and do more things with. I just feel that Palworld does it better. It looks better. It runs better. Palworld is the next generation of this style of game that has been out there on the market for a while. Which is older, Digimon or Pokemon? Well, Pokemon, of course, is a little bit older by about 3 years. The anime for Pokemon was 97, Digimon was 99. And then how are they similar? Really, Pokemon and Digimon, despite their differences, share similar themes or same themes. They say slime fiends here. I'm guessing that's a typo. One of the most notable in the connection between Digimon is with the tamer and Pokemon with the trainers. Although the former are virtual creatures, the idea of having superpowered companion is uncanny. Both have the concept of evolution, except for the fact that Pokemon evolution is more permanent than Digimon. Lastly, fans of their animes and games will talk smack to defend the show to their death. And that is what we're seeing now with Pokemon. That's what we're seeing. We're to the point where Nintendo is inundated by people defending Pokemon to the death. And why can't we have both? Why can't we have all of these games out there? 2 million people playing Palworld concurrently. That's insane. There's so many people that have jumped onto this game that it's just so much out there, and it's so fast. I'm seeing advertisements now from Palworld that they are bringing out merch very soon. They have their own cards coming out. They have their own little figurines that are coming out. It's going to be a long-lasting game at this point, and I hope to see a lot more from the developer. And final thoughts here. This really drives this home. Digimon versus Pokemon is one of the biggest, longest running comparisons between two successful franchises. Contrary to popular belief, the level of similarities ends with the monsters in their names because they follow distinct paths. Although both achieve successes in their own right, one is clearly more successful than the other based on sheer numbers. Many argue that Digimon's story is better. A lot say that they're better. They even say the Digimon card game tends to be better. But this is subjective and debatable. The merch, games, fans, and the popularity ascribed to Pokemon from an objective standpoint. Nonetheless, both are awesome shows, and we recommend you watch both. Did Pokemon or did Palworld rip off Pokemon? Or did they just suit the needs of a market that is missing something in this genre? I'm your proud Canadian Phoenix, Cindershadow. I'm signing off here. Don't forget to like and subscribe.